Welcome to Life, Lessons, and Legacy, the podcast where we delve into the stories that shape our lives and the lessons we carry forward. I'm your host, Cedric D. Nelson, and I'm excited to embark on this journey of discovery, growth, and inspiration with you. Whether you're seeking motivation, guidance, or simply a moment of reflection, Life, Lessons, and Legacy is here to accompany you on your quest for fulfillment and purpose. So sit back, open your mind, and let's embark on this transformative journey together. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Life, Lessons, and Legacy podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Cedric D. Nelson, and today I'm honored to have the guest, Ms. Tonji Cromwell. Ms. Cromwell, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Cedric. How are you? Just call me Tonji.
Just call you Tonji. All right, I got you. All right. Yes, I'm doing well. I can't complain. It's this week is moving on by. I tell people that the older I get, the faster these days go by. That years feel like months.
Still coming. That's
it's still coming. So I like that perspective. You're right. At least they're still coming.
Right.
Okay. So, like I said, I won't hold you long. I appreciate you coming on the show. I'm looking forward to the listeners learning more about you, about your business, about you overall as a person. So my first question is, what's your background? Kind of where are you from? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I'm from a little town in Arkansas called Goodwin.
Mm-hmm.
I have to give props to it. It's where my dad's family, the Smith family, grew up. My grandfather, he tell everybody he had an 8th grade education, but when he passed, his farm was worth over $1 million. So he had 17 children, and my dad was smack dab in the middle.
Okay.
And so my dad passed in 2019, and he was a preacher. So all my life I've been a preacher's kid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the oldest of 4. I have and before I go any further, I have to give homage to my mom. Okay. I have a beautiful mother that is still living and kicking.
She definitely kicking, huh?
She moves around. She gets around. So I love her. I love her to death. And then, my siblings, I'm the oldest, and under me is my sister Tani, who is in film and writing.
Okay.
And then my sister Terry, who works for a college, and she loves what she do. I can't disclose. And then my brother is also a pastor, and all together, all 4 of us have a nonprofit called PLUM. So that's something we do, and we get that. I'm gonna step off for just a second. My grandmother, I was raised, on a farm in Goodwin, which it sits between Palestine, Arkansas, and Brinkley. Normally that gives people an idea where it is. Okay. It's off of Highway 70, so you won't see it if you're on 40. And if you blink your eyes, you're going to miss it altogether. So, but my grandmother was a stay-at-home mom. She had 17 kids. Mm-hmm. And she never worked other than, selling Avon and things like that. But she believed in sharing what she had. So we had plum trees and, different other fruits and vegetables. And so she would always share with the community. So that's how we came up with PLUM, peace, love, understanding, and mercy.
All right.
So we share. We try to share our plums in the Delta of Arkansas.
Okay.
So let me see, what else can I tell you about me? I started off, my parents are huge educators, okay?
Okay.
My mom did about 35 years in education. She was a 3rd grade teacher.
Okay.
And my dad wanted to stretch it as long as he could. So he did 46 years in education. Yes.
Wow. 46 years.
So he has hit the entire Delta area. He started out in Arkansas, and then he went to Tennessee and Mississippi. So he did the whole tri-state area. He did 46 years, and brilliant man who loved math. If you knew him, you better be on point. I used to think I was real smart in school doing trig and all of that. And I got to college, I was a little bit away from dad. I realized I wasn't smart at all. It was the fear that I had. But I got that math done. So just, we come from a family unit of, believing in God. and worshiping, and staying in church. So it helped me grow to the person that I am now.
Okay.
I'm a mother of 3.
Okay.
My oldest son, Sean, lives in Las Vegas, and my middle daughter, I have twin daughters,
Okay.
but I have to separate them. So my middle daughter, my oldest daughter, I should say, my oldest daughter lives in Memphis here,
Okay.
and my youngest daughter lives in Keller, Texas. So
Okay.
um, all of my children, I want to say my ex-husband and I raised them right.
Mhm.
They're respectful, very
Mhm.
mannerable, and I'm
Mhm.
proud to say that I'm their mom. So
Okay.
I have a host of nieces and nephews.
Mhm.
I just got a brand new nephew. He's not even quite a week old yet.
Okay.
And I'm
Congratulations.
excited. His new nickname is Dimples. It's my brother's and his wife's son. So
Mhm.
we're excited to have him on board, which he rounds it out at, let me see, I don't want to get it wrong, 10, I believe. I think I
Really?
got 10. I need to
Okay.
count because I'm super auntie now.
Right.
All day long. Auntie Time. That's
Right.
my
Don't
so
miss anybody. He'll be mad. Yeah, you're right.
yes, yes. I can talk on and on and on about my family. I love them dearly. We constantly have, events.
Mhm.
We have one that's coming up on both sides of my family. My mom's family is from Palestine, so they're right down the road.
Okay.
And so we're celebrating our family reunion after COVID.
Mhm.
We had our 25th prior to COVID, so now we're having our 26th family reunion this year
Okay.
in Palestine and Forest City area.
Okay.
And then my dad's family, we have to split it up and do a couple of things throughout the year. So we have what's called a spring fling.
Okay.
And it's when family comes together on the farm. We play, games. We win money.
Mhm. Okay. All right.
We cool off. We have a lot of fun. So and that happens every year. It's just a joy to have, which leads me into why I love doing what I do. I sell real estate.
Okay.
And I love finding homes for people or helping them to sell their homes because it's all about family, and
Mhm.
family starts at home.
It does. Okay. Well, that kind of led to my next question, where it was like your educational background and your career background. So kind of what you do, your educational background. Can you tell us a little bit about both?
Yes, yes. Okay, so being a daughter of an educator, I had to go to school. I had no
Mhm.
choice. No choice at all. I and all of us went to HBCUs,
Okay.
and we were all very, proud alumni
Mhm.
of different various ones in the South. My school was Lemoyne College right here in Memphis.
Mhm.
Go Magicians. And then I went on. I actually have a degree in natural science, and I started off thinking that I was gonna maybe do pediatrics, and then
Mhm.
I geared over to genetics, which was really my love. It was just, lab or the friends.
Mhm.
So the friends won out. So I just ended up graduating, and I did natural science for a while and environmental science. And I worked in that field for a moment. After getting married and doing things in technology, I kind of dabbled in that a little bit. I
Mhm.
discovered, well, I can tell you where my real estate started. When I
Okay.
was in college, I was working for Crowlike Realtors. I can
Okay.
give them homage.
All right.
And I worked in the marketing department, and I was appointment secretary, and I was sitting there and I was absorbing.
Mhm.
I was absorbing all of this real estate knowledge and didn't know that it was going to one day benefit me.
Mhm.
I also worked for Lawrence Johnson Realtors doing kind of the same similar thing, and my eyes was getting big, and I was like,
Mhm.
oh wow, I love this. I like what it's doing. How people leave out here and they're smiling and they're taking
Mhm.
photos because they just got a new set of house keys.
Mhm.
So I was like, yeah, I think that's where I want to be.
Mhm.
So I happened to be working for Promise back then. It's Hilton now.
Okay.
I was doing a little side gig, and I was working for Promise in their vacation resorts, which deals with timeshares. And what people don't know and understand, that's real estate.
Okay.
You know, they buy a vacation home or they rent out a week. They think it's just, oh, it's just a hotel. No, ma'am. That's real estate. And the gimmick is you don't leave it for nobody, and it goes back to the developer.
Right.
You know, so that part. But while I was there, we got a new program, and my supervisor, she's like, you know, you catch on things pretty quick. You're pretty good about explaining stuff to people. Why don't you go to each resort and teach them the new software? I was in my 20s. What? Yeah, I'll do that. You know, I'm at the resorts in Myrtle Beach. I'm at the resorts in Arizona. I'll do that. Lake Tahoe. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. And I caught on to technology, just, you know, by circumstance, nothing that I really set out to do. It just kind of stuck with me. And so I was like, okay, cool. I did that for a while. Ended up having my girls, and I thought, well, I need to have something a little bit more stable. I can't keep doing all this traveling. And that's how I ended in education anyway. Ain't that nothing?
That's how God works, though.
That's like how he does it, you know.
Yeah. You tell me your plans, and he's like, no, I got something for you.
Right. And so I ended up teaching for a while, and I loved it. I loved the children. And I learned, okay, there's something here. Middle school was my sweet spot, believe it or not. And because they're very impressionable, and they're willing to learn, and they're absorbing, and they need us. They need us in the community. They need us, you know, when mom's working 2-3 jobs, you don't know what the situation is at home. Or they don't know what church is. So church is not like it used to be, where, you know, you can pick the kids up, take them, and they get what they're missing while mom's at work, or whatever the situation is. And I loved it. I loved it a lot. What drew me away, and I'm gonna be honest about this, was the politics of it all. It hurt my heart that people can walk through the halls of the schools and demand uniforms. We barely wear clothes.
Right.
You can demand uniforms and not see the gang problem that we have, not see the hunger problem that we have. And you expect the kids to come and learn. I got to protect my back.
Right.
I got to fill my stomach up. And if somebody else is wearing these cute kicks, I got to figure out how I can get a pair of them.
Right.
And it bothered me. And so I had to take that to another level, you know, which is when we really started going into PLUM, and we discovered, you know, just to help it grow. You're making me emotional talking about it.
It's all right.
It was a time in my life that I was so young. I wish I could do more, and I didn't know what or how, you know. But working with PLUM did help us be able to help some children. We did a lot of mentoring programs. We do a lot of summer programs. We have, even for the homeless, we supply, we call it Hearts for the Homeless, and we do different bags and supplies and things of that nature. And it's still growing. It's a process. And you wouldn't believe this, but some people don't take the free that well.
They don't. They think offensive. It's offensive to them. Like, it's free.
Yes. Or we're trying to help you, you know. Well, what's the gimmick? That there are still some people out here who believe in their community. That's the gimmick. You know, because if we don't help us grow, you're going to be a lost community, a lost, you know, universe. I mean, we all got to stick together. And I'm not just talking about, you know, one race towards the other race. Everybody, we've got to learn how to grow in this universe that we have going on, and teach our kids. I feel like the lessons I had which kind of is a segue into whatever the other part. The lessons I had growing up, I have coworkers that tease me now. I said, yeah, I know I was sheltered. I know that,
That's not a bad thing, right?
I figured that out, but it's made me who I am. Okay. And we talk about different t-shirts. Oh, you didn't watch that TV show? I said, no, and I didn't even know I was missing it. I didn't know I was missing it, but I was in that tree. I was on that bike. I was getting that exercise and that sunlight that I needed, and no one had to force me to do it. And we have a different generation going on right now, and we've got to figure out a way. We've got to figure out a way to make it turn around. I hope that I know I've embedded lessons in my kids because I've seen what they are doing now. So I think I give that homage to my parents because they didn't play. They did not play.
You know what's funny about that? I tell people all the time, when you're a kid, you think they're so mean. Oh my God, they're so mean. They won't let me do. When you get older, you appreciate it. Like you said, now you're like, you know what? They didn't play, but I'm appreciative that they didn't play. I'm appreciative that there were shows on that I should have been watching, that all of my classmates are watching, but y'all's lives went totally different. And I was also going to say with PLUM, it sounds to me like y'all are just doing God's work. It's like you are, and the thing about it, I realize it's so crazy. Society is so crazy now. Like you said, when you offer someone something and there are no strings attached, they look at you like, you must be trying to get over on me. Like, no, I'm literally just doing God's work. I am literally just here to help you. I don't want anything for this. I don't want anything from you. Just let me help you. That's my reward. But if you take it back to church, that's how it's supposed to be anyway.
Right. Cedric, say it again. When I'm out and I'm showing houses, I might pass 10 churches in 2 and 3 blocks.
Yep.
I shouldn't see homeless people on the street.
Exactly.
Not around these churches. I most definitely shouldn't. I shouldn't see kids just playing and skipping out and have nothing to do, nowhere to go. We need to be churches of the community.
We do. Not about the money.
I'm not gonna get on that soapbox. I'm gonna step back.
But I get you. And I tell people that's the thing. Like when you're doing God's work, the rewards that you get, they are usually tenfold for what you gave. Because God says, you do what I ask you to do, and I'm going to reward you. Because sometimes it's not about the car, about the house. It's about the fact of I help this person, and this person is going to help somebody else. Right. I don't know. It's one of those things, like you say. That's why I'm happy to hear about your program.
It's something that was embedded in us that we're missing. We're missing in our next generations. Respect was huge.
Oh, yeah.
Huge when I was growing up. I don't know if people know what that means now. The kids, I don't know if they know what that means.
They don't. Well, Tonji, I say this about Tonji, they even about elders. Like when we was growing up, you and I, we had elders. And if someone saw me doing something wrong, they were going to say something to me. Might even spank me. But when I got home, because I embarrassed my grandmother, for sure I was going to get knocked out. She was going to say something to me. But we don't have it. Elders are not the elders that we grew up with, one. And
they're scared.
They're afraid. Yeah, they're afraid of the child, and they're afraid of the parent.
Yes, what's gonna be said, and what's it's crazy. You're exactly right. Growing up from such a large family, and being a PK. Oh man, I did not want to embarrass my parents. No. And then, I had the big family was a benefit for me because I'm like, are you sure it was me?
Right. It was my sister. It was my sister.
No, I think that was my cousin. That couldn't have been me. So most times I was a quick talker.
Yeah, that was me. Like talking way out of it. By the time I get done talking, they're like, just go back outside. Don't even worry about it. Talk to the deal.
Now, if I had to get one, if I knew my paladin was coming, my dad was very uniform. He would let you know. So I would prep, I would pad, I would be ready.
Hey, that's smart though. I get you. Oh, that's hilarious. We say I prep, I'll be padded up, huh?
Yes, I would be ready.
And you have to act like it hurts, of course, every time.
It hurt. And he'll tell me that. This hurt me more than it hurt you. I didn't understand it though.
Oh, that's funny. I
Yeah,
thought it was just me. That's
he
hilarious.
got that from his grandmother. I mean,
Yeah.
from my grandmother, from his mom.
Yeah.
She would say that one.
Yeah.
This gonna hurt me more than
Yeah.
it's hurting you.
My
It's the
grandma,
Lord ain't
yeah,
grandma.
my grandma, she's all right. My grandma used to tell me the same thing, like, nah, like I'm the one hurt. Like I hear these licks, like I don't know about you, but something
Right.
else you said that's true though. It's like we're not really pushing church anymore.
Mm-mm.
Like when I was growing up, my grandmother had me. Matter of fact, they had not only was I at church, I had to also go to the quote unquote singing with her or the singing. We would go
Yeah.
there and people would come in town and they have like this almost like revivals. And these people be singing
Yeah.
for 3 to 4 hours. And it was a time of her life. I mean, when I say my grandmother was happy, she was singing every song, she was jumping around. And I'm 5 or 6 years old, but I'm just like,
And we had things for the kids.
yeah, you did.
We had Sunday school. We had YPWW, young workers, willing workers. We had we would go on vacation Bible school. I remember my aunt would put me in different speech competitions. In my head now, I can hear it. If I can face this world with a smile, I am somebody special.
That's your speech, huh?
You don't lose it, you don't lose it. And we need to get back to that. I don't know, if it only, like I said, that's what our church do. We talk about that being in the heart of the community and having the community of the churches in the community, and we do for the community.
I should do the work.
And we've got to build that back up.
We do.
I don't know, someone's got to start.
Yeah. Well,
got to figure out a way to deter, crime. When I'm showing homes to out of state people who don't know what Memphis is about, I can't steer them.
Right, because it's there,
And I mean, but I'm not gonna let them. I'm telling you, I'm not gonna let them. What I do is point out things. Well, did you see the boarded house that was next door, or the writing that was on the wall? And just so that they can make decisions on their own. They have to do their own crime report research and things like that. But we should want every neighborhood to be safe. It's not like that. And I don't care where you are, the municipals, you can be anywhere. You want to feel safe, so.
Especially you're paying for a place to stay. Wherever you're paying for, you want to feel safe. I tell people all the time, and Memphis is just very different. And I don't know, again, the programs that you're putting in place really help, because that's what I think we need. Because right now it's like you have a bunch of the youth and they're just lost. They don't know anything about God. And I tell people this all the time. By growing up in the church, it helped me my moral compass. And I think when you have a child or a young person or any person who doesn't have that religion, that religious aspect, there is really no moral compass. It's just me by me. So you don't think twice about taking a life or about committing a crime or where am I going to go after I die? So you have to get people in church and give them that moral compass and teach them about God and teach them about how we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to help each other. Because this is a very selfish society right now, because again, none of those lessons are being taught.
They're not. And it's, not to say at any fault of parents. Some parents are doing the best they can. You have to meet them where they are.
That's it.
And give them the tools that they need to go farther. That's just, that's what we do. We do a lot of seminars and courses and classes and things like that. But you have to meet them where they are. That's our pretty much my motto anyway.
I like that.
I say that about everything that I do. I try not to judge, why a person might want to stay in, that particular house, or I remind myself, this is not for you. This house is not for you. If they love it, you know what I mean? I'm going to love it too. So.
Yeah. Because I tell people that all the time. I used to have a couple of rental properties, and I used to tell my wife and kids, I was like, I probably don't want to live in this place right here. But this, to somebody, this is like the home that they've always wanted in the area. They're familiar with, they're comfortable. But now I personally am trying to be out here by 6:30 because I don't feel too safe. I see some shoes hanging on the power line over here, and I know that's not a good sign. So
exactly. Exactly.
So my next question, I think you may have already answered it. So what are your goals coming up, personal and professional?
Okay. My personal goals. I'm gonna come back to that one. My professional goals,
Like
though,
field work, yeah.
I intend to get my broker's license soon
Okay.
so that I can open up my own real estate company. Right now, I'm brokered with EXP Realty,
Okay.
and I'm under Donnie Morrow's brokerage, and I love it.
Mhm.
This is something I plan to do, with a wheelchair. I plan to do it until I'm taken out,
Right.
till I can't do it anymore. I
Okay.
love it. And my thing is, and I remember when I first started, by the way, which was in 99.
Okay.
And I retired my license in 2011 and then got them back out,
Mhm.
and right during COVID time,
Okay.
after my dad had passed.
Mhm.
But I remember when, because dad was pushing education, education, education.
Mhm.
And there is an education to be learned with real estate
Okay.
that we lack as a people. Um, and I'm not gonna really get into that heavily.
Okay.
We can do a buyer's session, or where people can come out and learn how to start the process, because I would
Okay.
love to show it. Anybody can buy a house. And I think some folks don't think they can,
Mhm.
but you can.
Mhm.
Anyone can purchase a house. I've seen some miracle deals where even the earnest money was returned to them at the table.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So and if your credit is bad, you can always work on it.
Mhm.
Your
Mhm.
400s, your 500s, your six, you can always work on it to make it better. It's about improving who you are.
Mhm.
And I think that's where people don't understand. I have one client, she was looking to buy a house, and then she was looking to buy a car. So she's letting the car dealers hit her scores, and it's
Mhm.
bringing her credit score down. No
Mhm.
one told her, don't do that.
Right. Wait till you get the house first.
Wait, get the house first, and your car will come. But
Mhm.
it's, if you don't ask questions, you won't know.
Mhm.
So I think I feel like I empower people when they're talking real estate. I don't mind holding your hand.
Mhm.
I don't mind going through each step, and I don't know everything there is to know about real estate, but
Mhm.
I guarantee you I will find it out. If you got a question, I'm going to find out, because I want you to feel satisfied and pleased with my service. I
Mhm.
stand behind what I do.
Mhm.
I'm not out here clicking with folks just to make a dollar bill.
Mhm.
I'm excited about owning land and property. And I
I'm with
wish
you.
here's one of the questions I know you had.
Okay.
What would I tell my younger self when I was being absorbed around all of that, sitting
Mhm.
there doing those in between college courses and at those real estate companies? I would have told my younger self, latch on.
Okay.
Now's the time.
Uh-huh.
Latch on, and you get you a little piece of it now, and just
Mhm.
let it sit there and grow.
Yep.
That's what I would have told my younger self to do.
Mhm. Yeah, well, I said when I was in college, when I was getting refund checks and all this stuff, had I known then what I know now, I would have probably been the king of Starkville, because I've been buying real estate left and right. 'Cause,
Right,
for
right.
pennies on the dollar back then, compared to
Mhm.
what it's worth now, even if it's just like a quarter of an acre of land, it
Right,
would have been mine. And
right,
I talk to my kids about it all the time, like investing in the stock market, investing in real estate. I'm like, as you get older, the price of everything usually goes up anyway.
right.
So get you some real estate. Like you say, get you some real estate. I would have been in real. I probably would have stayed in Starkville. I probably had so much real estate. I had all the time. So if I bought a property that needed work done, I was a college student. I could have did it
Mhm.
myself. Me and my buddies could have made that for a weekend. We were doing anything else but playing basketball all day. So,
Right.
you know, yeah.
Teaching and learning, teaching and
Hmm.
learning.
You know,
Exactly.
and
And
I
that's
have
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, I have a buddy named George Sago. He's loan officer, I believe. I'm about to get this right before I post this.
Mhm.
But he's George Sago, the mortgage man. That's what he does, help people get mortgages as well.
Right,
And he said the same thing you said. He said that he feels very empowered when he helps someone that thought they didn't even know how to start the process.
right.
When he helps them realize that, look, no, you can get a home.
Mhm.
And just I told him, I said that's how you make that generational change, because now you
Right.
show the grandmother she can get a home, and
Exactly.
now the daughter believes she can get a home. Now the granddaughter thinks I'm supposed to have a home, and now all of a sudden you've affected three different generations, because like you say, what you do with real estate is very impactful, because you give a person a place to call home that they are paying for themselves, not for the landlord, not for anybody else, but for themselves.
Exactly. And I'm gonna tell you, I believe in the eco cycle. You got to start where you're feeling that you're in a stable spot, where you feel secure at home, where you can lay your head on the same pillow, and then that starts the happiness of your life.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If one thing is out of cycle, everything's off.
Yep.
And that's your foundation. Having your home is your foundation. Of course, I should say God is your foundation.
I get you, though.
But he definitely want us to be in a stable home as well, you know, have good shelter. So I think that's part of where people miss out. They say, well, no, I'll just rent. And renting is okay for different areas. But if you can own and then have more houses, someone else can rent from you. Maybe rent is where you needed to start at that moment, but it doesn't mean you have to end in that location. You can always, you know, own your own house and have something that you can put your name on, that you can pass down. Don't just own it,
right,
and don't have anything saying, you know, when I leave, give this to some. You got to make sure you put all the paperwork in place.
You do.
And I love the title companies that I work with, because I only work with people that are going to be honest, that are going to explain to my customers exactly what they're getting into and what they need to do from that point on. And so, I mean, you know, it's like a team of us. You know, and I'm always willing and opening, you know, to work with other folks, but I scream, I'm not going to just sign somebody up with somebody.
Right, because your reputation precedes you. I tell people all the time,
it does.
You know, you screw somebody over and they're like, well, you know, yeah, Miss Cromwell,
that real estate lady, she did it.
Right, you don't have a name, it's just that real estate. That real estate lady, she but you know, and I'd say it's a scary process for someone who's new. I remember buying my first home and going in and the contractor saying, hey, you know, take a quarter, make a circle on the wall if you see anything needs to be fixed. And I remember asking my my real estate agent, like, hey man, you want a quarter? He was like, nah. I was like, no, you need a quarter, because I don't even know what I'm looking for. I don't even know what is wrong.
Right.
So, but like you said, when you have somebody and you go in and do your job and you make them feel like you really held their hand, because some people need that, the chances greatly increase that the next time they need to buy a house or they know someone needs to buy a house, they're going to refer them to you because you actually did the job that made them feel comfortable buying the home. So I think what you do is great. I mean, I think especially a person has a passion. Yeah. If you have a passion for it, especially, I mean, you're definitely changing lives. You know, I talked in my book about, you know, leaving a legacy. That's part of your legacy.
It is.
No,
it is. My kids know it. They know. I have one daughter. She says, yeah, mom, when I get through, I'm going to be your assistant. I said, okay. But they know it. And hopefully it'll rub off and they'll want to get their license and, you know, practice where they are, you know, or whatever their dreams. I don't want to, you know, push anything on them, but whatever their dreams is, if it's not real estate, I want it to be something that they have a passion for. And that they want to do right by people.
Right.
Because God's favor ain't nothing like it. I'm just going to say it. Ain't nothing like it. They say, take a good view of me now, because when you see me later. Okay.
We see what God's favor did for me.
Yes.
And I tell people all the time, you know, I can say for myself, I've had times in my life where I'm trying to figure something out. And when I say I look, and as far as look through man's eye, there's no way in the world I think how it can work out, right? But then through faith and through prayer and then just trying to trust in God, it somehow works out. And you still looking like there's no, this could be nothing but God, because there was no other way this worked out. So, yeah.
I tell my friends, my prayers changed. I used to, oh God, give me strength. And I said, okay, he proved I came through that one. Okay, I came through that one too. I said, okay, God, that's okay. I don't need no more proof.
No more strength.
I'm strong already.
Right.
Just shower me with your blessings. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Jesus.
I got strong enough, huh? I don't think enough battles. I'm good. Oh my God. You know, somebody said that. Yeah, somebody said it now. They say you pray for strength, he gives you problems. Like, hey, I'm making you strong. He's gonna
show you that you got the strength. I said, okay, I got it. I'm good.
Hilarious. That's hilarious. All right. I'm sorry. You got me off track. I'm over here laughing. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Life, Lessons, and Legacy. I hope you found our discussion thought-provoking and inspiring. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your feedback helps us to improve and reach more listeners like you. Remember, life is a journey of growth and discovery, and every experience, both the highs and the lows, contributes to the legacy we leave behind. So embrace each moment, cherish the lessons, and live with purpose. You can find more resources, including my book, Life, Lessons, and Legacy, How to Take Life's Lessons and Shape Your Legacy, available for purchase on my website at www.lifelessonsandlegacy.com, also available on amazon.com. On my website, you'll also discover information about my life coaching services and speaking engagements designed to help you unlock your full potential and live a life full of purpose. I'm Cedric D. Nelson. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you soon.